Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ratih Novita. I will read the script from Mr. Wildi Adila to complete my pronunciation assignment. Okay, let's get started. Lecture. We're gonna look very closely at slang today, and in particular, slang in English in the United States. So, first we look at the meaning of slang, and then we'll look at a number of reasons why people use slang. And then I want to talk a bit how this slang is created. So how slang is made. In fact, most slang in any language is created by young people. So the first thing is, what is slang? Okay, slang is the term for new and informal words and phrases. And these words and phrases tend to come from different groups within society. Let me say that again for you. Slang is new and informal words or phrases which tend to come from certain groups in a society. Let me move on to describe slang for you. Now, in general, we use slang to say something new or to say something odd in an unusual way. So, a quick example is, when people say, I'm pumped up, or I'm sick. Both of these expressions, someone might say it to mean, I'm really excited. Now, slang, as you probably know, can either be playful and funny. It's something you can use with friends. But on the other hand, it can sometimes be impolite and offensive. So it can have many different effects. Alright, so let's move on to why people want to use slang. Well, there are a number of reasons. One important reason people use slang is that slang makes people feel connected to or part of a peer group. So, for instance, let's say there's a group of friends who spend a lot of time together. Maybe they go to the same school. They use more slang with each other because it makes them feel connected. It's like they have their own language. So, in essence, when they use their slang together, they are showing their group identity. Like wearing the same jackets. They are showing that they belong in the same group. Also, and this is a key point, people use slang to how that they are friendly and can be useful with each other. This is especially common in the workplace. Now, some people use slang to make their speech more colorful or to make a certain kind of impression on other people. So these are a few reasons why slang is used. Now let's move on to discuss how slang is created. What I want to look at is how people create new slang expression and often change the spoken language. Okay, now slang is created in a variety of different and interesting ways. One way is slang created is by taking an old word and giving it a new meaning, like the slang word weird. So let's look at how this works. You know the word wear, like the wire in electrical cord. To be weird is an adjective, means the way you feel when you've had too much coffee. You feel too excited and maybe even a little crazy. You feel weird. You feel full of energy. So that's an example of a new slang word created from an old word. Okay, there's another way that slang is made, and that's by creating a new word. A word that didn't exist before. And the interesting thing here is that these words usually come from subcultures or smaller groups from inside a culture. A really good example of creating a new word is the slang word bling bling. This is a slang word that means shiny, jewelry. It's a noun. Most people first heard bling bling in a hip hop song some years ago, and suddenly many young people began using this expression in their language conversation. So, for example, someone might say, "Look at that bling bling she's wearing." So, we've talked about creating slang by using old words in new ways. By creating new words, and let's look at the third way that slang enters the language. The third way slang is made is by borrowing a word from another language or by borrowing from another culture. This is what I'm interested in. Slang in the United States incorporates hundreds of words from language of the people who have come to live here, like German people, Italian, Chinese, just to name a few. Okay, now it's important to note that not everyone who speaks English speaks the same slang. There are a few factors that create differences in slang. So right now, let's take a look at a couple of these factors. The first important factor is region, meaning the part of country where a person is from. So for instance, you might hear a person from the southern state say, "Hey you all," which means hello everybody. But a person from California might say, "What's up guys?" So different regions, different slang. That's the bottom line there. Okay, here's another factor. It's people, occupation, jobs. Jobs can have different slang too. A great deal of job-specific slang is also relevant to others, so eventually it becomes popular in regular society. It eventually becomes general slang. Are there any questions? Excellent. Okay. Well, so far I've only talked about slang in positive way, but special it or not, slang can sometimes be controversial. That's right. Not everyone has positive opinion about slang. For instance, some people think that if people use too much slang, eventually it might destroy the English language. Let me illustrate this. Remember I said that a lot of slang is created by and used by young people. A lot of the slang in style today and used by young people is not grammatically correct. It breaks the rules of the language. Of course, young people want to break the rules of the language. They want to do things differently because it shows that they are a new generation. They don't want to follow the traditions of society. A good example of youth slang that is ungrammatical is the popular expressions, "my bad." Oh, my bad. My bad, it's what you say when you want to show that you are responsible for a mistake. Like if you forget to bring your friend his book, but it's not correct grammar, we should say, "My mistake," but we say "my bad." So what I'm saying here is a lot of slang goes against the rules of the language, and some people are concerned about this. Some people are also concerned when slang is used in a formal situation, like when someone is giving a speech. They think that slang is too informal for speech. They are also concerned when slang is used for writing because, as you may know, slang is used more in speaking than in writing. And so, as you've probably been told by your teachers, generally slang is unacceptable in academic essays. So that's a big part of the controversy about slang. So finish up, I want to make one final point. When you're thinking about slang, keep in mind that languages are living this. They are changing all the time. And the slang helps the language grow and change. Alright, I'm afraid we are out of the time. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.